The cold silence of space only punctuates the feeling of death that emanates from this virtually lifeless planet. Only one thing is alive and well here. Evil. And it must be destroyed, decimated, exterminated. But first, it must be found. Rated T for teen.
Metroid Prime is a new installment in the Metroid series. The original NES game was released on August 6, 1986. It was praised for its gameplay, music, and levels. It also has a special notability by being one of the first games at the time to have a female protagonist, Samus Aran. Afterwards, a sequel, Metroid 2: Return of Samus, was released on the Game Boy. Fast forward to the Super Nintendo era, Super Metroid was released. It is cited as not only the best games ever made, but the best games in the Super Nintendo library. The legacy of Super Metroid gave birth to the term Metroidvania, a mix of Metroid's labyrinth-like levels and the Castlevania games, with the most notable game in that definition being Castlevania: Symphony of the Night. During the Nintendo 64 era, there was no development of a Metroid game. Shigeru Miyamoto stated that nobody could come up with any ideas that would be appealing. On September 21, 1998, Jeff Spangenberg, founder of Iguana Entertainment, formed an alliance with Nintendo to develop games for mature audiences. This led to the creation of Retro Studios. While they were working on projects that would be on the GameCube, Miyamoto visited Retro in 2000 and saw a prototype of an action-adventure game. He thought about its potential and requested that a Metroid game must be made from the engine, leading Retro to cancel the projects and focus their attention on this one work. The staff worked long hours to reach the deadline during its development, and at one point the game was planned to be in a third-person perspective, but there were camera issues. Thanks to Miyamoto's heavy involvement behind the scenes, he suggested the camera would be better in a first-person perspective. The story of Prime is set between Metroid and Metroid 2. Samus Aran detects a distress signal from the space pirate frigate Orpheon, whose crew has been slaughtered by the pirate's own genetically engineered experimental subjects. She fights the Parasite Queen, a massive version of the ship's small parasites, at the ship's reactor core, and the Queen falls into it, causing an explosion. While escaping the frigate, Samus encounters Meta Ridley, a cybernetic version of Ridley that damages Samus' suit. She follows Meta Ridley to the planet Talon 4. The gameplay of Prime deals with exploration. The player will travel through Talon 4 to find 12 Chozo artifacts that will open the path to the Phazon meteor impact crater. While exploring, the player will come across power-ups, weapons, and armor upgrades. For the suits, there's the Various suit, which can create a shield in Samus' armor to protect her from severe heat in the volcanic zones. The Gravity suit allows for underwater exploration. And finally, the Phazon suit, which is the most powerful suit but can only be accessed at the end of the game. The power-ups include the Morph Ball, which lets Samus roll into tight spaces and drop energy bombs, and the Grapple Beam, which functions similarly to a grappling hook
by latching onto specific hooks known as grapple nodes, which allows Samus to swing over gaps. The game's first-person POV allows access to the heads-up display of Samus' helmet, which have a radar monitor, a map, missile ammunition meter, and a health meter for Samus. It also includes a thermal imaging vision, X-ray vision, and a scan visor, which is an important function as the player can scan the surroundings for clues and information. It can also hack computer terminals and activate elevators.
Metroid Prime received strong reviews from critics. Praise was given to the graphics, music, level design, gameplay, the use of the first-person view, and how it elevates the classic Metroid style to a new era. It became one of the best-selling games on the GameCube with 2.84 million copies sold, and it was also the second best-selling game sold in November 2002, behind Grand Theft Auto Vice City. The success of Metroid Prime led to 2 sequels and a 4th installment, which is currently in development.